Okay, so I'm still going through my physically owned books this week, and if you've watched my collection video, then you know that there's a couple of series where I read all but one. And this week I want to focus on a series where there's four books, and I have and read the first three, and my library has the fourth. So I want to decide, I want to reread those three in this one, and then decide if it's worth it to continue on with the fourth and either keep or unhaul my copies. And that is Need by Carrie Jones. And I don't really remember much about this. Let me turn tracking off so it doesn't do that. And I don't really remember much about this except either pixies or fairies. Something like that sounds familiar to me. Zara White suspects a freaky guy is semi-stalking her. She memorizes phobias and chants them when she's nervous. And, okay, she hasn't actually been herself since her stepfather died. But moving to a shivery Maine town to stay with her grandmother is supposed to be the perfect fix, so her mom says. Except this new plan of getting away to help Zara stay sane? Yeah, not working. Turns out the semi-stalker is not a figment of Zara's imagination. He's still following her, leaving behind an eerie trail of gold dust. There's something not right, not human, in this sleepy Maine town, and all signs are pointing to Zara. And then there's a blurb on the back that says, if you grabbed Stephen King and Stephanie Meyer and asked them to co-author a book, they would come up with Need. So I remember really enjoying the series. I don't know why I didn't get the fourth one and finish it out, but that is a theme with a lot of books in my collection, is never finishing series for some reason. But yeah, we're going to start with the first one and see how it goes, and hopefully it goes better than the Matched trilogy did. So I'm about a third of the way through Need, and it is a little high school teenager corny, but teenager me really enjoyed that, and it's not enough to put off adult me on this. Um, Not like a different book that I recently DNF'd was. But I also like that it's a unique take on supernaturals that I haven't really seen since. It's not your standard fae, fairy, um, or vampire, werewolf, that kind of thing. It had its own little take, and I'm still enjoying the mystery of it, the finding things out, just like our main character Zara is investigating with her group of friends. And I think I remember flashes of it, but not a whole lot since it's been so long since I read it. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. It's not putting me off by being too teenagery. Um, it's not too cringe. So that's how Need is going. So I just finished Need, and overall it was okay. The latter half got pretty cheesy. Something that I think my teenager self liked, but adult me didn't, is when you're in danger and there's something out there that's hunting you and you're out and vulnerable, you don't stop to kiss. And you pay attention to your surroundings. I didn't. The romance in this felt pretty teenager, cheesy, obviously, because it's written for, it's YA. But yeah, it annoyed me when there's shit to do. You have characters making stupid teenager decisions, and they stop in the middle of danger to kiss and be all lovey-dovey. Another thing that annoyed me is when someone says, like, they don't care what you are, they'll still like you regardless, and then they find out what you are and they freak out and get mad and throw a temper tantrum, even though they apologize for it later. It's like, dude, you just said you wouldn't do that. So there's elements of this that I didn't gel with as an adult, but I'm still interested in continuing on in the series, and so Captivate is up next. Zara and her family thinks they've taken care of the Pixie King problem, but in this one, a new king moves in, so new shenanigans. So I'm on page 52 of Captivate, not super far into it. And I think with Need, I enjoyed the relationships before Zara and her boyfriend made things official. I enjoyed the will they, won't they kind of thing of that. And now that they're together in this one, I am not enjoying that relationship as much. It's reading really, really young, which makes sense because this is a YA. So it's not marketed for people my age. So I can't really dock points on that, but I'm not liking the relationship as much as I did the first time reading this when I was a teenager. Um, and it's really just not captivating me. 50 pages in, and we're not really into a whole lot of the action, and things feel more high school in this one. But I'm still going to keep reading because I am intrigued about the new um, mysteries that have kind of been slowly revealed. As long as there's not too much of the lovey-dovey on the page, I'm still at least intrigued. So I'll keep going. But yeah, I'm not loving the relationship this time around, and it is reading younger than Need did to me. But a lot of these things could also very well just be second book problems. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I liked it enough to buy the third, but I never bought the fourth, so we'll see how it goes. Captivate is finally done. It's 273 pages, so it shouldn't have taken too long, but mostly I feel like this one was a little bit of a letdown compared to the first one. It seemed more high school. It seemed more repetitive ultimately with the conversations that all of the characters were having. Um, and I just really didn't like the Zara Nick relationship in this. I do like the addition of a new character, and I think that new character is going to play a more prominent role in the next book. But there are currently 3 Pixie Kings on the loose instead of just the one that they were dealing with in the first one. And that is a little bit of an interesting element to danger, but it seems like the danger's not really quite fully ramping up. There's still a lot of high school in between the danger, if that makes any sense. But now we're on to Entice, and this is the 3rd out of 4 books, and it's the last of the ones that I own. They are all available through Libby though, so and this one, it's about Zara trying to save Nick, I guess, but and just preparing and basically trying to figure out how to defeat the evil Pixie Kings. I wasn't in love with the second book. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first, but I'm still intrigued enough to reread the third, and right now I'm still interested in finishing out the series. Let's see how many pages are in this one. There's 264 in this one, so it's a little bit shorter than the second book. It looks like it picks up directly where number 2 leaves off, whereas there's a tiny bit of a gap between number 1 and number 2. This one picks up directly after number 2. I read this in one day. I didn't mean to read it all today, but I picked it up and it read so much faster than the previous 2. I enjoyed this a lot more. I think of the 3 that I own, this one would be my favorite. Need, which is the first one, would be next, and then Captivate, the second one, would be last. I've already gotten the fourth one from the library because I'm come this far. I might as well see how it plays out. And like I said, I really enjoyed this one a lot more than the others. There was more action. There was more Zara owning her power, and less of the lovey-dovey Nick and Zara couple. Way less, obviously, but I'm interested in the little triangle that's kind of brewing between Zara, Nick, and Ashley, and I'm interested to see how it all plays out. Actually, so I am, like I said, I've already gotten the fourth one from the library, and the fourth one feels like I think it's the shortest one of them all. I really enjoyed this, even though Nick wasn't really physically there. He was prominent because all of the characters were talking about Nick, but yeah, I just didn't. I think my hang up with the second one was I didn't like Nick and Zara together, and so this one was really a lot better. It focused more on action and I don't know. It flew by though, and yeah, I've picked up the fourth one from the library, and in just an hour, I'm already 20% through. So that one's blazing by, but ultimately, I am glad to see how it ends. So I just finished Endure. It was such a short book that I didn't feel the need to stop and check in at the halfway mark or anything. It was a really fast read. It was the shortest of the four. Um, the beginning was frustrating because Nick was being frustrating, and the teen speak throughout was a little bit cringe. Just, the awesome sauce, or it's a very distinct feeling of an adult trying to write how teenagers would speak and not really being familiar with teenager language and how they talk, especially because these aren't regular teenagers. But overall, I thought it was a fitting end. The series as a whole, I think, is just a 3-star for me, and I'm not going to keep the 3 books that I have, but I am glad that I finished out the series, and I do like the way it ended. Um, I like that the love triangle wasn't really drawn out, it wasn't really much of a triangle, and I feel like the characters all made the right choice in the end, and I liked the closure that it had. So I'm not upset that I finished the series finally. I'm actually glad that I finally did. And even though it was just a 3-star series and I'm going to be unhauling 3 more books, um, I'm glad that I finally know how it ends. And I am glad that I read it. It was nice. It was a nice break having a change with the supernatural, because you don't really hear about pixies or any type of fate like that. So overall, I thought it was good. When I was a teenager, I probably would have loved it even more. I know I liked the first 3 more than I do now, but um, yeah, the dialogue is a little cringy, but other than that, it was good. I enjoyed it. So. But that closes out this video with one whole series done and off my shelves. And yeah, I had a fun week, and thank you.